Hello everyone, it's Mary. Welcome back to the channel for another design team project for Kraftgali. Today's project is going to be so much fun getting to do a technique I have been wanting to do for so long. We are going to be using the PinkFresh Studios stamp set. This stamp set is chock full of sentiments, which are just absolutely adorable, and some really cute little flowers. You have some solid images and then some outline images. And today we are going to be using these watercolors, the liquid watercolors, some Tim Holtz watercolor paper, which is really stark white. It's the first time I'm using it. It is really nice. And I love how it's really grainy on one side and really smooth on the other. And then, of course, our PinkFresh Studio stamp set. So we'll get started out here by cutting down that paper into an A2 size card. And I am going to go directly onto my acrylic block. And I'm going to put my watercolors. Now this watercolor is very, very pigmented. It's beautiful. And I think you could probably get away with a lot less than I used, but I was experimenting. So it was a lot of fun to try out. And then I'm going to spray that down, and then I'm going to smush it onto my paper. So I'm sure you've seen this technique used before. I know I have, and I just never got to try it. So I thought I would give it a go. And it was so much fun, and actually really, really easy to do. And you get a really pretty, more controlled, I think, watercolor background. But you must put something heavy on that because it'll just keep lifting up. And so I did. You don't notice that, well, in the frame here I kept it so you could see I put like a binder on top of it to kind of weigh it down. And then I'm going to do it again with some different colors. Now I only have 3 liquid watercolors. There's a lot more that you could purchase, but I have the 3 because the primary colors I feel will make good mixes. And so I have the yellow, the cherry, the seagrass, and then the sapphire. And those, I feel like I can get a lot of mix with those. And I'm going to keep on doing this. I make 4 panels, so you can kind of see me keep adding to it and adding to it. And then I will address the elephant in the room. Yes, I'm sick. I rarely get sick, but I'm sick, and I sound like this. So if you can notice that my energy is a little different, and I have a crazy stuffed up head voice, that is why, and I am so sorry, but yeah, we got it. The Christmas bug got us, and so we're 2 out of 4 of us are in the house, and guess which 2 it is? Yes, the parents. And the kids don't seem to mind that we're sick. They keep on asking us for every single little thing. All right, so I pull that off, and you could just wipe away some of that excess kind of water that pools. You can just pick that up with a paper towel. This one I am going to paint on the colors instead of just spritzing with water. So this is even more control of getting a nice square kind of block. Now you could fill up this block a lot more than I did. I just decided to keep it within the confines of the shape I wanted or the size I wanted, but you certainly could do that more so. Okay, so then I pull this one off, and this one kind of got some mudding, and I didn't mind. And the reason I didn't mind is because I felt like it was a little less of the pink and purplish colors. It gave me a little bit more of a masculine flair. And I also twisted my block on that one, which is laying down right now, to get almost, it looks like a sheet of paper or a book. I twisted the block at the bottom, and so it spread out the color. So I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with these. I'm trying to figure out how I want to use this stamp set on here. And then one of my New Year's, I have a bunch of crafty New Year's resolutions, but one of them I'll share is to do more simple cards, because I read somewhere, and I forget who, it was somebody probably posted on Facebook, that they received this card from someone who's a non-crafter, which the majority of the people that I get my cards are non-crafters, got this card and was just so taken aback by how beautiful it was. And the crafter thought it was super simple. And I think that that's a good reminder that this is handmade. This is handmade. And in fact, I received a card one time from one of my people at work that used to work for me. And she made it. And it was the most simple card, but it was a little bit of watercoloring and a note, and I loved it. So I need to get out of my own head with trying to make things way more complicated just for whatever reason. I like to push myself out of my comfort zone, so that's one reason. That's fine. But if I'm worried about people thinking it's not good enough, I need to halt that perception immediately. And so with these cards, I wanted to make very simple but very beautiful and elegant cards. So I'm going to go through on this one. You saw me do the stamping on the first one. I used VersaFine Clair in Morning Mist, like a gray color, and now I'm going to use some embossing powder. So this is silver embossing powder I'm going to put over after using my Versamark watermark ink. And I just stamped out "thank you" repeatedly, and this is going to be a thank you card. The reason I chose this is because I made that almost look like a sheet of paper by bringing out that end on the bottom, and so I thought that would be kind of cool just to put some script on it. I am going to cut all these down because some of them went on the paper a little crooked, and so I'm going to cut them down around the rectangle to make them straight. Now I'm pulling out some more VersaFine Clair ink here, and I'm going to be stamping out some of those leaves, and at the end you're going to see what I'm going to do with those leaves to make them completed flowers, because I didn't use the flowers in the set for this card particularly. And then on the top we're going to stamp out "just because." I like "just because" cards. I think those are great. They are for any occasion. Just because says it all. And you could be a birthday card too, just because it's your birthday. Just because you're awesome. So I love "just because." That's a great stamp to have. And then on this last one, I didn't want to do anything on this background. I thought it was great. So I used the sentiment "you have my heart." I stamped out one single little stem, and then with one of the flowers, or the leaves rather, in the stamp set, I'm going to make a heart. At least that's what I'm telling myself it looks like, with some ink there. And you can see me just take that one little, this is a leaf, and I'm just making it into a heart. So it matches the sentiment. So "you have my heart." And again, very, very simple. Okay, so I have all my panels down, and we are finished stamping on them, and I am really happy with the way they came out. I think this would make a really pretty set to give somebody, or just to give out as needed. And now I'm going to take some stick-it sheets here, and I'm going to add this to my fun foam. The reason I like fun foam here is because I used watercolor, so I'm getting a little bit of warping on my card panel. And so I want to combat that warping with some fun foam with adhesive on both sides, and that tends to work really well. I'm pulling out my Teflon bone folder and my score buddy, and I am going to score at the halfway mark for my A2 size cards. And this is 110-pound unisolar white, so you're going to need to use a score, I feel, a score thing on it because it's really heavy. And here's how I finished my cards. I used some glossy accents for the first one to get some dewdrops, and then I pulled out some of these this amazing sequins. I have to tell you, these tins are so full of sequins. Really excited about that. And I used sequins on these other two cards here just to add some sparkle and some fun. And then on the final card, I took out some of the hearts from the sequins and I added that to the stems. And so it looks like my flowers are hearts. And that will do it for these 4 cards using the PinkFresh Birds with Flowers stamp set, some liquid watercolors, and some Tim Holtz watercolor paper. I had so much fun. Thank you so much for stopping by, for crafting with us. If you're interested in anything I used, it will be linked below. Don't forget to hit subscribe, find us in other forums, and let us know if you have any questions at all. We will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.